Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Are you sure?
I am.
Well, you know what? Fabulous is his name. Majo Ouellette is his game. A brand new Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Friday is now.
Hang on. Maybe they are doing something. There's an end to every storyline. And maybe his story is being written now out. His brother will continue. You know, you get guys like Roman Reigns that are busting their ass to make sure it works with both these guys. His brother is busting his ass. Paul Heyman's doing the same thing. The writing team, why would you let everybody down?
Yo, 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 wrestling fans, this Sunday, July the 25th, JTG joins us at MWF Studios in Melrose, Massachusetts for a series of Wrestling Insider tapings and live cyber autograph signing. Want to join us in studio live with JTG? Join the Boston Wrestling Patreon family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling or pre-order your photo. JTG will autograph and personalize live on the air and give you a shout out at bostonwrestling.com. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the fans just haven't asked for it, they have demanded it.
This August, we're headed back to Tampa for Wrestle House 2.
WrestleMania weekend, we brought you Sinister Minister James Mitchell, TJP, Demolition Smash, Al Snow, Dutch Mantel Zeb Coulter, JTG of Primetime, and WWE Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe for in-depth interviews and live interactive cyber autograph signings.
And if you want our Wednesday Night Wrestling Insider Special Edition episodes to continue, we need your help to bring these superstars' careers and lives to life.
Bringing you free content 7 days each week is an expensive proposition. Between appearance fees, air travel, renting the house, the equipment, and everything that goes in to a week of shooting, we can't do it without you.
As we prepare to return to producing live in-ring events, help us bring you the superstars and legends of yesterday and tomorrow by visiting Indiegogo now and check out some of the great rewards.
Wrestling fans, it's going to be a wild week in Tampa the first week in August. Get ready for Wrestle House 2.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders, another wild night on SmackDown. The fans are back. I think that's just adding to it, Johnny. I think for a while, I think every wrestling show is going to feel like it has a little more life to it. Now that that fan base is back to experience the king of sports, professional wrestling, a.k.a. to some, sports entertainment.
Wow.
Not to me. It's
No?
wrestling to me, baby.
Sports entertainment. I got to go
Wrestling.
with it's entertainment with athletes. It's great.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. I just, you know what? The term would not bother me if it wasn't used on the show. Could you
sports
imagine
entertainment.
going to see a Terminator movie and they call it an action movie in the middle of the movie? I'd rather them call it wrestling during the show and then in press releases and media interviews and so on, use that phrase then.
You got to be careful because...
Why is that?
Well, why did he change it to sports entertainment?
To avoid paying taxes.
Well, okay. So now you want me to go backwards and at the very end say, oops, it's sports entertainment. You know what? Let's be real.
But I think during the auspices of a production, so to speak, of the 2-hour, 3-hour wrestling show, Raw and SmackDown, you're watching something that isn't, quote unquote, a legitimate athletic competition. It's more of a, like you said, there's action, there's adventure in it. You can get away with calling it anything you want. I don't think you should use that terminology during the wrestling show. If you're doing an interview with Sports Illustrated, if you're doing an interview with NBC, sure, say this is sports entertainment, what we do. Wait a minute. Majo's itching,
You know
baby.
what? I'm just not tolerating this
Majo is
anymore.
itching. You're not going to tolerate Majo.
Hello, Vince. Hello? Yes.
They need him at Titan Towers, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
glad to come
SummerSlam.
back.
Picture it at SummerSlam. Cena reigns
All right,
with
I'm
Cena,
going back.
Cena Sr. and Heyman handcuffed at ringside.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. And
You
I can
like
hear
that one.
The man sitting behind the desk saying, ain't no way that's ever going to happen.
And then maybe Jey Uso comes out and hits you with a super kick.
Love it. Love it. We can do it.
Well, funny enough, Johnny, as I mentioned the Usos, I wanted to kick off the show with your thoughts on what a story that I have mixed thoughts on, and they're both strong. The now fourth arrest, third DUI of Jimmy Uso. It's out of control at this point.
I love both those guys. I really do.
I do too.
What great entertainers, great knowledge of this business. You know, we can sit here and you and I can talk about rehab all day. But the man's an alcoholic. The only way that you can deal with this type of situation is by the individual looking in the mirror and admitting I have a disease. Number one disease in the country is alcohol.
Is it?
Well, alcohol is the number one abused drug.
I didn't know that.
It's a drug, so it's the number one abused drug. So you look in that mirror and you say, alcohol is a problem. I have it. Seek the help you need. The problem is the situation can change so quickly because there's always somebody that'll say, hey, Dan, I know you're on a diet, but have this one Pepsi. Well, one leads to a Pepsi, then it's an ice cream. You know the thing I'm afraid of? This is the fourth time. Please, God, he's
Only
way over,
his third DUI, though, just to stress that.
right, but he's way over the limit.
Oh, absolutely.
How would it be if he killed somebody? That's, you know, when I used to teach driver ed, I would
You used to teach driver's
I
ed?
did. I did the classroom and the in-car, and I used to say specifically, you know what? Alcohol and drugs are bad because ultimately what happens is you're out of control. You end up killing a family or some innocent person on the street and or doing damage to yourself that injures your family because of what's happened to you. You know, God bless him. For whatever reason, yeah, I had a couple of beers. I know how that feels when we traveled from one site to the other when I was doing stuff with WWE. Everybody had a beer. They're all drinking.
Well, he was in his hometown of Pensacola. He wasn't traveling town to town.
Makes no difference.
It was on an off night.
I know.
And you couldn't have called an Uber or a Lyft.
That's what I'm saying. Common sense, my man, because you know what's going to happen the next time? Nobody's going to be nice. And then he's going to be in the jail. Then somebody's got to bail him out. WWE's going to have to live with this. How long can you be an embarrassment to your employer? And I mean that in a good way, not a bad way. Because
It was
he
very
has so much-
complimentary, yeah.
But he has so much to offer.
Sure,
So
sure.
much to offer.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Why jeopardize it over a can or a bottle of beer or whiskey or
Well,
tequila?
it was a lot more than that, looking at the
understand.
blood alcohol level.
That was way up there, brother.
And you talk about poor choices. He's in the middle of the biggest push of his career. Him and his brother are being featured as opposed to just being, tag team wrestling really isn't something that WWE has gone out of its way to feature, but with his involvement with Roman and his brother Jay, coming back from injury now, him trying to be maybe the voice of reason in a sense, really being featured in a great capacity. My tip of the cap to WWE Creative. It's the most watchable angle storyline they've had now in quite a while. It's something I look forward to, but I was very surprised that they brought him back on the episode after the arrest as if nothing had happened. They just continued with his character status quo. I think WWE needs to lay the law down. I don't want to see Jimmy Uso lose his job, but I look at it like this. This is a man where he's been arrested 4 times, 3 of them due to DUI. The 4th, I think, was involving him trying to attack a police officer.
Correct.
When they tried to arrest his wife in Detroit,
Which any
Michigan.
man would do.
Oh, if the police are trying to arrest your wife, I wouldn't take my T-shirt off and go after the cops, would you?
You know what? I have a son that's a police officer,
Yeah.
sergeant in West Newbury, and I can only tell you this. People do crazy things. Domestics are the hardest call to deal with because you never know which side's going to go off the deep end. And so if somebody were trying to arrest your wife, pull her out in handcuffs, your immediate response is to stop. You don't think about you think about getting her. So I can see where he came from there. Bad decision again. But
And it just shows a pattern of bad decisions.
that's correct. So you know what's going to happen if he continues with this? I like the way WWE handled it.
Doing
Because-
nothing?
Well, hang on. Maybe they are doing something. There's an end to every storyline. And maybe his story is being written now out. His brother will continue. You know, you get guys like Roman Reigns that are busting their ass to make sure it works with both these guys. His brother is busting his ass. Paul Heyman's doing the same thing. The writing team. Why would you let everybody down?
And you know, another way to look at it is that maybe you talk about the worst of times. Not only is he in the biggest push of his career, but he's coming back from an injury
Yes.
where
He was out a year.
his brother Jay showed how valuable he can be as a singles and doesn't need Jimmy Uso.
What did I just say? The end may be nearer than you think, my friend. So if it were I would take the high road, admit I have a problem, seek help for that problem, and move on. It says an awful lot to admit. You know what? I always said this to my sons. Never be afraid to say you made a mistake or you were wrong. And in this case, if I were he, I made a mistake and I was wrong in what I do. I realize I have a situation. I'm married. I've got a great opportunity in front of me. I want to seek the help I need so I can continue to do what I love. That's it.
To me, another part of the problem is look at the precedent that's been set with Jeff Hardy. How many times has he been arrested with DUIs and drug charges and so on and so forth? And I think the world of Jeff Hardy, too. He's helped us with some of our charity endeavors before. He's a good human being that's made many, many, many poor personal choices. You know, they set the precedent. They continued to allow it. They continued to push him as one of the top guys in the company, even with this problem. So how do you punish Jimmy Uso when you've let the issues with Jeff Hardy go on so
They just
long?
renewed his contract, I think, didn't
What's
they?
that now?
Didn't they just renew his contract? It's up for renewal? Hardy?
Probably about a year
Yeah,
ago, I
yeah.
think.
So my whole thing is, you know what?
Jeff Hardy you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Jeff, yeah. I don't know about Jimmy Uso.
Okay, I think what's got to happen here is, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And, you know, fans are not stupid. They kind of sit back and they go, wait a minute. You nailed Hogan's ass to the wall, but this guy beat the living stuffing out of his wife, did this and that, used words that shouldn't be used, and it's like, keep the ring, you're all set. Wait a minute. You know what? Justice is blind. We know that. That's the statue. The scales are supposed to balance. In this case, they don't. I just think that somebody's got to sit somebody down and make it clear. He's young enough, he's smart enough to understand. So is Hardy. The trouble is, I guess people are, you know, it's like raising a family. I was never afraid to say to my sons, no, it's not going to happen. And I wasn't afraid to give them a slap on the ass. Today, parents are afraid of their own children. And the children are running the show. Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening with some of these wrestling promotions. You're putting money in the bank for me. You know, I don't want to be too big a hot ass, but you know what? Vince is a very smart man. You can only slap me in the face so many times before I punch back. And when I do punch back, it's not that I'm going to hurt you. I'm just going to take your job away from you. And that's the thing he doesn't understand.
Well, you know, we'll play a game right now, Johnny. Let's play you're in charge of talent relations, you're Vince McMahon. How do you handle the situation as is right now?
I think what I do is I say, you know what? I want to see Uso. I want to bring him in the office. I want to sit him down. I want to put my cards, as I play cards, I always do it. Nothing up my sleeves, brother. They're all face up on the table. And here's the way it lies. Bad, bad, worse, worser. You got one more shot, son. If you can't make it right this time, if it happens again, I'm putting you on notice. You're done. You're out of here. Go where you will, but you're finished with this promotion. I think when people understand that it's the real deal, Paul Levesque, I'm sure would say it, John Laurinaitis, you know, I got respect for all those people.
Yes.
Put it on the table. Don't pussyfoot around, you know, and I think that would wake people up. The fact of the matter is, threats are just that. You can't have any more ice cream, and tomorrow you're not going to get any. Oh, well, all right, have a dish. And that's exactly what's happening. And until they not slap wrists, until they say this is not a threat, this is fact, And if you do it again, see right here, see this contract? Terminated. 90-day, no compete. See you later. Find someplace else.
Well, here's what I would do. I'd say, Jimmy, you're suspended for 90 days, no pay. We're going to send you to rehab. If you choose not to, we're going to release you.
You know, Marty Jannetty made a great comment. I don't know if you saw that, and I'm sure you did. Those podcasters in New York, Pharaoh and his...
Oh,
All right,
please.
but no.
I wear my sunglasses at night, yeah.
But just a minute. Forget those two fellows. I just want you to, because Marty was very upfront.
Yes.
He was right. Why would you do that to me, quote unquote, and put me out there like that? You know, that's not fair. It's not right. I thought we were buddies. And he said, nothing I'll make clear of, you know. And he was kind of like, you know, this rehab stuff. It don't work. I've been in more rehabs than you can count. I've seen priests, I've seen ministers, I've been in, I've been out. It don't work for a man like me. I got to realize I got the problem and I have to cure it. Great, Marty Jannetty. That's exactly the words people need to hear, and that's exactly what people need to do. Rehab, let's look at Sonny. How many times has she been through rehab? All right, but
Sonny's been through a lot of things.
Okay, so, well, that's another story for another time. So my whole thing is rehab is only good for the person that, Jake Roberts is a great example of somebody who truly recognized he was screwed up, who truly wanted to grasp life, enjoy his family, and really wanted to become rehabbed, wanted a full life. It's not an easy thing. You know, I used to see it. Put them in a room. Sometimes they're tied to that bed. They sweat, they scream, they yell. It's horrible.
It's tough.
It's horrible
tough.
to do what you need to do. It's worse than being in a friggin' ring or in a fight on the street.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
But it's a fight that's worth
withdrawals.
fighting if you love the people you're with. And you know what? You can do your rehab thing, but I guarantee you, unless he's ready or they're ready, rehab's going to be up. We're going to send you again. Going to send you again. That's wasted money.
Well, you know, here's the thing. WWE has to do something. If he's been arrested 4 times, if there's been 3 DUIs, how many times hasn't he been caught?
That's right. And the next time, like I say, please God, really it doesn't happen. But what happens if he hits a car full of people?
Well, that's it. This is a publicly traded company now. What if he drives into a tree?
Yep.
What if he, look at what happened to me in the Sheik and Commissioner Von Johnson. We were almost killed. My body has been left dilapidated because of some asshole
That's
that
right.
made the poor choice to go out, I'm going to go have some drinks. Then I'm going to get behind the wheel of my pickup truck and fall asleep on the highway and put all of my body weight down on the pedal and go off like a bomb on Von Johnson's SUV back in August of 2005. Jimmy Uso could make the same mistake, and there is the precedent that he's set where he continues to be arrested and caught with these DUIs. And again, if he's only been caught 3 times, I'd put some money down in Vegas that there have been many nights that Jimmy Uso has got behind the wheel of that car after having some adult beverages in no condition to drive. So it's a problem that WWE, just to save their own ass, in case there is a bigger incident down the road, I think WWE needs to lay the law down, even if Jimmy Uso doesn't want to go to rehab, even if Jimmy Uso looks at it as if it's a waste of time. If I'm WWE, I'm protecting the WWE brand by laying the law down and doing something to him. Do you think 2K Video Games is going to want to put him in their games? Do you think Mattel is going to want to make action figures of someone that's repeatedly arrested for DUIs? I mean, WWE, it is a global brand. It goes beyond what goes on inside that squared circle each week.
I agree, and you just reiterated the words I said. Let's stop the fooling around. Let's put the cards face down on the table and said, look, I'm not going to send you to rehab. You have to make the decision to go to rehab. Anybody can walk in.
I'd make it for him.
Anybody?
Either that or I'd say, you know what, it was nice to know you.
But you can walk in and you can walk out. See, that's the bad part about this rehab thing. So you know what?
Well, at least
Put it on the
WWE,
table.
no, if, let's just say there is an unfortunate 4th DUI, or there's an accident where he's hurt, or he hurt someone else. At least WWE can say, we exhausted every opportunity possible to try and help him. If they choose to do nothing, You know, they fined Lars Sullivan $100,000 because of comments he made 10 years ago on Reddit that
Right.
came across as, I don't know if they were either racist or
Racist.
homophobic, racist.
Both.
Both, okay. For something that happened a decade ago. They need to do something now with the talent that's under contract to them now, before it's a situation that blows up in their face.
Don't disagree with that. I just think that, like I said, here's the cards on the table.
If he doesn't like rehab and doesn't want to go to rehab, okay, what I'd do is I wouldn't even release him right away. I would, WWE has every clause in their contract that is WWE friendly. I'd ice him. I'd have Edge hit him with one of those concertos to send a message to Roman Reigns to write him out of the storyline. I'd have him sit home for however long they could send him home, fined without having to pay him. Then I'd release him and let him go somewhere else once he's cooled off. I wouldn't let him walk into another promotion hot off of WWE TV. I'd ice him too.
Well, I disagree with part of that because I don't think he's going to walk anywhere hot off a WWE program. Nobody wants a troublemaker. Nobody wants the adverse publicity. So I kind of tend to say, put the cards down. These are the options. Here's the way it's going down. And I'm going to tell you what I sit right there and say, look, this is a no BS situation. I'm not joking. There's your contract. Here's your choices. You realize you have a problem. Here's the options that you have to help you solve that problem. We're willing to pay for it and help you get out of it. You don't want that. Trust me when I tell you something. It's very simple. Next time we get the call, see this contract? Done. Out. See you later. Make it real. The problem is,
our difference is I
not real.
wouldn't give him the opportunity to do it again.
But you have to give him the opportunity to make a decision because to
Oh, I
force-
agree with that. But what
if
I'm
you-
saying is, if he refuses the rehab, like I said, I'd ice him and then I'd let him go.
But that's
I would
his
not.
choice.
I would not let there be an opportunity for another DUI or another opportunity for someone to get hurt.
I understand that, but why
Look
would
at
you
what
force,
it's done to my life.
But why would you force a man into rehab, something he doesn't want to do? If you sign him in,
Because at least
he just signs out.
if there's another problem after rehab, WWE can say, we have done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth. If God forbid that there's an accident where he's killed, someone else is killed, and WWE says, well, you know what he does on his own time is his own personal
won't
choice.
happen.
I think that comes across poorly. That was WWE's public response to one of the other incidents that he had. What WWE talent does on their own time is their own business. This goes beyond that, and this needs to be rectified, in my opinion.
That's true. However, the difference between your statement and the way I feel, once your picture shows up on a WWE poster and you're in a WWE ring, I don't give a damn what you do on your own time. You still get WWE tattooed on your back, your arm, your ass, and your head. You're there. Oh, you're that guy from, people see me and they go, oh, I know you. And I go, oh, really? Well, who am I? They don't say John Cena Sr. They don't say Johnny Fabulous. They say, oh, yeah, you're that guy that got kicked in the head by Randy Orton. Okay, that's fair. But I'm still got the WWE label on me. So as long as you have that, it shows a total disrespect for those people that you're working with and pushing for, yourself and the company that's paying you. That's
simple enough. Look at the non-wrestling media. Did they report Jonathan Fatu was arrested for a DUI, or did they report WWE superstar Jimmy Uso was arrested for a DUI?
Jimmy Uso, WWE superstar. And like I just said, I don't care what you say about on your own time. Once you're in that ring, and once you have WWE on you, I'm not John Cena Sr., I'm not Johnny Fabulous. I'm the guy that got kicked in the head by Randy Orton on a WWE show. That's it.
You're part of that brand.
That's it. And when I'm out there, I respect the fact that I have to be careful and do things because what I do reflects on the product. Forget anybody else. The product. McMahon, Levesque, Stephanie, Shane, the whole product, and all these men and women who are busting their ass to make sure you and I get a night of enjoyment. No, it doesn't work that way.
Even when Paul, in the episode we did last week, when Paul Orndorff passed away, it was WWE Hall of Famer Paul Orndorff passed away. So even when you are not under contract to WWE, you are still part of that quote-unquote brand. And you know what? For better or worse, you're representing that brand with your actions.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess we agree a little bit and disagree maybe just a little bit. But that's all right. That's what makes our shows so interesting, fans. Right now, we're going to show you something of greater interest as well. We're going to take a brief time out. We'll be back with more Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Stand by. The World Wrestling Federation was live at Old Ridgefield High School Gym in Ridgefield, Connecticut, Thursday, July the 23rd, 1981. In the opening contest, Johnny Rodz beat Angelo Gomez. Kurt Hennig with the win over Baron Mikel Cicluna. WWF Intercontinental Champion Don Morocco retained the title over Steve King. George the Animal Steele defeated Terry Gunn. And in the main event, Andre the Giant and Pat Patterson victorious over Moondog Rex and Captain Lou Albano, who replaced Moondog's spot, in a 2 out of 3 falls match, 2 falls to 0. If you were in Ridgefield live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times.
WWE is coming home to Kansas City with Monday Night Raw. WWE is back with Monday Night Raw in Kansas City, Monday, July 26th. Tickets on sale now.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marati.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay. At WrestleMania 37, she proved she is the EST, defeating Sasha Banks to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Here's your chance to own this limited edition collector's autograph print, personally signed by Bianca Belair, one of only 50 made, direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome Bianca Belair collectible for your wrestling collection now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. John Cena Sr., Dan Marati. I think we got a little spirited in our last segment.
No, I think
no, we didn't get spirited. No,
I think you and I think the fans will agree. You got to see point, counterpoint, And I think it was a good discussion. There was no yelling, no screaming. I think we both tried to get our points across, and the fans will decide who's right and who's wrong. But I think it was a very interesting conversation. There was no, you jerk, you ass, you this. I think it was
I say that often.
Yeah, but it was well done. I think it was well done. Well done.
Should we wear sunglasses?
No, not for my podcast. Right. I don't have a podcast.
Well, no, this is a high quality television studio we're in, Johnny, not some podcast penthouse. You spend enough time in the penthouses with the various
women. They didn't call me,
women.
so I didn't ask my opinion.
All right. Well, Johnny, so is the kid working reigns at SummerSlam or what? What do we got?
You know, I
gotta ask.
Everybody's asked that question.
Is he working SummerSlam? What's going on?
All I can say is this to you, the same thing as everybody else. I don't know my son's business. We don't talk business. We don't do anything about the business. I love my sons, and I love my son, all of them.
When does the taping of the movie in France begin? I know it is in August.
That's correct. However, this is, now, please, fans, no misquote. I don't need any phone calls.
Let's see what the fake headline will be out of this.
I'm not going to do it then. See, I refuse
No.
to do it.
I'm interested because, like I said, sometimes people can take a sentence and they turn it into a book.
Yeah, and I don't want that because I don't speak for John Cena Jr.
No, I'm not asking you to speak, but when's he going to France?
I have no idea. I just heard that there's a movie signed. It's a spy movie called Argyle, whatever it is.
I think you'd be good in the spy movie.
Well, nobody's called me yet.
I got an interesting email from one of the fans. And I thought this one was outside of what your son does. They said you would be good if they ever did a Taken 4 as the father of Liam Neeson. So,
anytime. I'm ready. Anybody calls, I'm ready. Nobody's calling me. No.
I'm still going with Adam West. I don't know.
No, I don't want that thing. No.
So you
Godfather.
You don't know anything about SummerSlam this year, other than it's in Las Vegas.
I do not. I do not know a thing about it.
Would you like to see it? As someone that just enjoys wrestling?
No, I would not like to see that match.
No. Would you rather see it saved for
Roman Reigns
102,000 fans at AT&T Stadium in April 2022, WrestleMania 38?
Roman Reigns has already beat John Cena once.
It was on a B pay-per-view and nobody cares.
But it's been done. The big match for WrestleMania 38 will be, my prediction, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. That will be the big match. That's what's going to put Roman Reigns on top.
I know they had wanted to do it in California, but obviously the WrestleMania calendar had changed where they had to move it to different cities because of coronavirus over the past couple of years.
Let's talk about The Rock versus Reigns.
All right.
Let's use that as an example. I think that that's a very dangerous situation for The Rock. The last match he had with John, I believe it was, he was under contract for a movie and sustained a serious injury.
Well, you want to know what the problem is, Johnny? And to call a spade,
yeah.
A man at his age is naturally not in the condition that he's in.
How old is
he's on so much gas, he's going to tear anything and everything if he moves.
Okay, but my point being this.
Okay.
Forget all that, and you're probably right in what you're saying. The fact of the matter is I'm under contract with Marty Films to perform as the Godfather myself, all right? But, okay, John, there's a clause in here that says you must be kept safe and whole at all times so as not to interfere with production or filming. I go in and fight Reigns. Okay, twist my ankle, break my leg, dislocate a shoulder and an arm. I'm no good to that studio. How much money do they have invested in me? Lloyd's of London won't pay on that. So
I don't think Lloyd's of London covers wrestlers anymore after all those scams in the 90s.
That's exactly right. So my whole thing is very simple. If I'm a movie producer or a movie company, forget my son. Let's make it general. How's that? If you're contracted to me to do a movie, regardless of when I start shooting, if there's a chance you could be injured and delay the shooting, bad news for me, bad news for the movie coming out. I just think somebody's got to make a decision.
Well, maybe they can plan it so far ahead of time that he doesn't have any movie commitments in the auspices of that area of life, you know.
That's fine. I know he wants to come back. I'd love to see him.
Everybody wants to come back at some point.
Yeah.
I can't think, even CM Punk, who says, I don't want to come back, I don't want to come back. I'm sure there is a part of him that misses the part of wrestling that he loves.
You and I have talked about this before.
Right.
I got to know Phil Brooks through being backstage, and I can't say I know him like everybody knows him. We had some good discussions. Phil Brooks has a hold on life. He's a very intelligent man. He has a great direction in life. And I will tell you this, when Phil Brooks says he's not interested, trust me when I tell you, I believe him wholeheartedly. Because if he can't get involved and have fun and enjoy what he's doing, he doesn't have to be the star of the day. Just enjoy it and make it worthwhile. Phil Brooks will do it. Outside of that, I question whether you'll ever see CM Punk back in a ring.
Well, you made my point. There are things about the business that he misses. There are fun things about the business that he misses. And under the right circumstances, if he could be put in a position where it could be done in a way that would satisfy his creative juices,
Yep.
I think he would come back.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But whether it's your son, whether it's The Rock, whether it's Undertaker, I think everybody that leaves, I think there is a part of them in their heart and in their soul that misses that part of the business they love. So that's why I think, if it was me, I would, in let's just say perfect world, I would do Roman and John at WrestleMania this year, and I would do Roman and Rock in Hollywood the year after, because I think that is where The Rock is such a, movie star now. I think that's the perfect setting for it. My opinion. For WrestleMania, I think, I've told you before, I would go with Bobby and Lesnar and Roman and Cena would be my main
I definitely
events.
would go. I've changed my tune on that one.
You like
I think-
it now.
I think Lesnar and Lashley would be a huge draw. I think that would be a good match. That would be the main event. I'm not crazy about Cena and Reigns.
Really?
Been there, done that. What's your purpose?
But how many matches have been redone?
What's your purpose?
How many original matches really are there left with some of these guys? What's the purpose? Because let's just per se they did do Roman and John again, it's a fresh coat of paint. Last time they did it, John was the guy, Roman was the hungry young lion trying to prove himself.
And he beat him.
And he did.
And he beat him.
But now Roman is the guy, and you have John Cena coming back as the legend, the icon, the gunslinger. Does he still have it in him to try and take out the guy that's the head of the table? I think it's a fresh coat of paint on the match.
Okay, so I'm a fan now. I'm just a fan.
I just sold it to you, you mean?
No,
I'm
I'm just
okay.
a fan. And I'm sitting here telling you
Yeah.
that you don't have to give me the finish to this match because Cena's going to job to Reigns. What the hell is the point of even paying to see it?
Well,
You know what?
If you add in there the storyline, though, will John Cena become the man that breaks the Nature Boy's record? Throw that in there. That adds another layer to the storyline.
You know what? I don't know any more than
They're
anybody.
tied right now.
I know any more than...
Actually, really, no, because they ignore about 6 of Flair's title
That's right.
reigns.
That's right.
As far as how they're officially recognized, John and the Nature Boy are tied.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that would add, I think, a pretty cool layer. Imagine if John comes out as a surprise at the Royal Rumble and wins. Does he want Lashley? Does he want Roman?
It's not in Lashley.
Either way, he's going for the 17th World Championship. You don't think the Fox Network would want to see their money spent wisely on John?
I'm still that wise-ass fan
All right.
who says WWE writing needs to be improved. Cena's going to job for Reigns. He's not going to be 17-time world champion.
Well, what if he decides, let's just per se, fantasy booking, let's flip the coin. Let's flip the coin a little bit. Let's say they decide, you know what? What a great angle. We're going to bring back Brock, and we're going to have him work Roman again. But this time, the mystery is going to be, who was Paul Heyman with? Is he going to stick with Roman? He never really severed ties with Brock. What's
I like
Paul
that. But
Heyman's angle going
I
to be?
like that. See, I like that.
And then on the Raw side, you could say John's storyline is going to be, he's chasing Bobby for that elusive 17th World Championship.
That
So
might work.
you could go Cena, Lashley, Roman, Lesnar, with the storyline on
Right.
SmackDown being, who is Paul Heyman going to align with? Roman or Brock.
I like that. See, that's a good storyline. Now, Cena and Lashley, again, I'm not throwing Cena under the bus. I'm not throwing Lashley under the bus. But once again, Cena's like Undertaker. So who's going to win the match? Who's the writer going to come out with on top? You know what I don't like, and I've said this before, that's why it's wrestling entertainment, worldwide wrestling entertainment. The predictability is there. I'm looking at the odds now for, minus 700 for Roman Reigns, plus 700 for...
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
If you're stupid enough to bet on this stuff, man, oh man, could I make a lot of money.
And I'll tell you this, Johnny, before we go to break, because Howard sent us the signal, I would love to see a promoted, official retirement match for The Undertaker.
Yeah, you know what? One for you, one for me. I hate to say it. It's a rhyme, but I agree.
Someone young, someone that'll bounce around for him like a ping pong for 6-7 minutes. Give him a year to get ready. Maybe he's training. Maybe he knows and he's training for it now. But I don't think The Undertaker's career should end in a, what do they call it, cinematic match with AJ Styles. He deserves to be in that squared circle and to have 102,000 fans salute him and give him love for all the love and soul and dedication he gave to our industry. It should not have been on a quote-unquote movie set. It deserves to be in the squared circle.
I say if you do that, make it believable at the end, let the opponent leave, and let The Undertaker take his thing. Not like that Drew McIntyre Goldberg thing where they hugged and shook. Come on, please. I think I threw up a little in my mouth. I tell you who I'd like to see do that.
Wait a minute, we forgot about Billy Goldberg. He's still
that.
he's still got 2 matches left this year and 2 next year.
Why don't you challenge Roman Reigns? I tell you what,
Oh, God, you know what? Forget about everything we've said. Watch them go in that direction.
That's right.
Goldberg.
Yeah, I hate to say this, and I know you hate me to say it, but if we want to continue a legacy of spiritualism, of the dead and all this, I tell you what, it's too bad they did what they did to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Oh, Undertaker and Fiend,
That would have been the answer right there. That's the match to go out on. And the way I would do it, I said it before, Fiend, Undertaker, bang, boom, bang, lightning, all this stuff. Fiend pins him, 1, 2, 3, grabs the urn, says, I got the whole world in my hands. Lightning bolts hit the urn. Undertaker has now disappeared from the ring. There's a hologram. Boom, bang. Ring fills with smoke. I will never rest in peace. Bang, the urn blows up. Be awesome. What a finish. But then again, they haven't called me. I don't write for them. I love them, but thanks.
I don't think Fiend should be the opponent if there was to be a match, because I think Undertaker should win, and I don't think Fiend should lose.
It would be a win-win situation because you could design that fall so it's a win for both. Taker could still win, and so could the Fiend. You understand where I'm going with this?
Fiend has been awfully hurt by what they've done with that Randy Orton
that's
and
horrible.
Alexa Bliss feud.
Well, you know what?
When they lit him on fire at TLC, I think they lit the character on fire.
Gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Unfortunate. All right, fans, we get the cue from the back as we continue fantasy thoughts about WrestleMania 38. What do you think? If you're with us live on Friday night, send your thoughts in the Premier Chat. Don't forget that the Super Chat button is open. Help us keep the lights on and bring you more great wrestling legends. Right now, we'll be back after this brief timeout to wrap up the show. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the momentum here in Boston wrestling continues as we continue to build and build and build. The fans want to know, how do we help? We subscribe to the Patreon, but we see all the great merchandise on that set. Coronavirus may have killed the nightlife, especially for someone like Marty, but our acclaimed eBay store is open 24/7 around the world.
Wow. Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. At Survivor Series, it was champion versus champion as WWE Champion Drew McIntyre battled Universal Champion Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman. Get this 11x14 poster autographed by all three men. Limited edition, number 42 of only 50, with authentication hologram on the back of the poster itself. Comes with a mystery autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. We had a little bit of fun in the last segment after we got kind of spirited in the first segment of the show tonight, but interesting things going on in the, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, the Duggan household. You had the re-debuts of a married couple in two different promotions. Zelina Vega returned to WWE SmackDown, and Aleister Black, in a great angle that the commentary absolutely butchered. What a great debut he had in AEW. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but Malakai Black, as he is now known, there was some kind of miswording in his contract, and instead of 90 days, he was allowed to be a free agent after 30 days, which shocked just about everybody, including some in Connecticut, who didn't realize that he wasn't under the 90-day no-compete. Showed up in a great angle. They teased technical difficulties throughout the night as opposed to just the typical lights go out, lights go on, and there's somebody.
I'm sick of that.
The lights went off and on all night to make it seem like they really were having issues, which I thought was very creative on AEW's part. But man was in the ring. He had kind of a very dark look. I loved it. Laid out Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson took that great bump for him. Cody Rhodes came out. Cody Rhodes got laid out. But, you know, for the local fans that maybe are Red Sox aficionados, they know from my social media, I detest the body of work of Dave O'Brien. I don't know the human being, but the play-by-play guy on Nesson, since they got rid of Don Orsillo, I can't stand listening to it. And in AEW, they have, you know, the announced team of Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Excalibur, who has the mask on, which I think is hokey. I wouldn't have your commentary, your pitchman, your salesman for 2 hours every week wearing a mask. But, I mean, it was just total chaos. He called them two different names. He was confused as to what he was supposed to say when. Talking about, I wrestled this man in Germany back in 2005 or something like that. And I mean, I don't think most fans would even realize that he was a wrestler. They only know him as a commentator. It was just so piss poor. I mean, in WWE, for better or worse, you know Vince McMahon would be in those commentators' ears saying, he is Malakai Black. Not the complete and utter chaos that was going on at the broadcast booth during his, what was an awesome debut. The physical aspect of it was out of this world. They made Malakai Black now look like $1 million, but then you had your play-by-play guy butcher the entire thing by misspeaking throughout the whole segment. If anything, he just should have said nothing if he didn't know what to say. Let the moment play out on its own.
Well, I'll tell you this. It wouldn't have been as nice as you said if Vince was on that other end. Believe me. I've been up there.
After the fact, yes.
I've been up there. No, even during. Because let me tell you, he's in their ear.
Yeah.
And if you don't screw up, you don't screw up. And then afterwards, you might as well just be like the puppy with the tape between your legs because it just doesn't work. Now there's another guy that could be the new Undertaker for the AEW.
And could have been groomed for something along
Well,
those lines
in
in WWE. What a
yeah.
waste.
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
you know, AEW, I think that's a very smart signing for them. I think Andrade Almas, a very smart signing for AEW. But again, what a loss for WWE for a guy that could and should have been a main event heel for them. I think Andrade Almas, he can main event in any company in the world. And I mean, they just used him in primarily a mid-card role because he didn't speak perfect English, apparently. What do we got? Oh,
that's the wrong person.
that's the wrong person. That's not Howard.
Well, we've already talked
Either that or
about.
Howard really had a makeover.
We've already talked about the Mooney Sloth Algonquin Challenge, so that's on.
But I lost my train of thought now.
About the.
Oh, Andrade Almas.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know who WWE missed the boat on more, Aleister Black or Andrade. Obviously, Aleister was over the instant he came up to WWE. We talked about that before, the misuse of him in Ricochet, and how luckily Tommaso, not that you say it's lucky that you got injured, but he got injured at the right time, because if Tommaso was left on the main roster with Johnny Gargano, imagine how he'd probably either be gone or he'd be bottom of the card.
Oh, yeah.
So
Look what they're doing, Ricochet.
it worked out well. Right. Ricochet, the past couple of weeks, they've given him some life, which is nice. I don't know why he wrestles in jeans when he's such a fantastic athlete, but one man's opinion.
We'll
But
see.
as far as Andrade Almas goes, that is a man with, I don't care what promotion you're talking about. I don't care what country you're talking about. I wish we could have got our hands on him here in Boston Wrestling MWF. An outstanding talent, from what I'm told by people that worked with him in WWE. A good guy. I look at it as I'm not going to knock the decision makers, but I look at it as a bad decision to let him go.
Wow.
I would have come up with something creative for him. He, like I said, for a company that's lacking top guys, I would have developed him into a top guy. If they were worried so much about his verbiage and his accent, you have Zelina Vega to speak for him.
Give him a manager. That's what managers are for.
Oh, the Ed Zelina.
Oh, that's it. That's the way to do it.
All
But on a
right,
bright note, Tony Khan is promising to bring back the exploding barbed wire match because it was done all wrong. I just had to make your day and say that.
You know what? Let's be fair. Tony Khan wasn't the one that was going to set off the landmine.
Nope.
You can't put all the heat on him. Did he make a mistake in who he hired to do it? Yes. And I think he's now all but admitted that fact. And he feels that he can find the right people to execute it properly. I think they'll have a hell of a spectacle if they're able to pull it off right.
We'll see.
And I'll tell you another thing, and I think people forget about it. Those two men had an excellent match before that dud
The match was
of
awesome.
a landmine.
The match was awesome.
Awesome match.
The dud was at the end.
Yeah. And the fact that they sold it
Yeah.
like they were dead.
Boom, boom.
But anyway, your thought, do you think AEW risks their own talent that they're grooming at the expense of a lot of the WWE guys they're bringing in, whether it be young talent that can contribute in their primes like Aleister, or Malakai, I should say, and Andrade, along with legends like Christian and Henry and Big Show? Do you think that almost like what TNA started to do when they had such a hot product with their own homegrown independent talent, and then they started to bring in anyone that was available from WWE? Do you think AEW is almost taking a risk by becoming too ex-WWE friendly? Do you want to be looked at as the company that hires every WWE miscast?
Well, they're not hiring every miscast, but
True, very true.
they're trying to select the cream of the crop. You've got some great guys that they've hired. Big Show, Mark Henry, going to be wonderful for those young people. Going to learn a lot. Some of the people they're bringing in from WWE will do wonders with the new people that AEW is bringing in. So I don't think it's that bad, and I don't think you're going to see WWE pull an Eric Bischoff and try to steal all of these people. They're very selective of what they're doing and how they're doing it. I see. Let's see it play out. I can't wait to see an AEW live show. I wanted to see the WWE show in September. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
We're traveling men, Johnny. We're traveling men.
We'll see what happens. You might get to go to Algonquin and do the Moniz Loft Algonquin Challenge.
Oh, well, I've heard about that. I would love to see it. Actually, wouldn't it be hilarious if Tony Atlas pulled up?
I
in
just
his
want to see who
$90
drives her home.
rent-a-car?
It'll be me and her and that person for dinner.
And then in the middle of this dinner, the doorbell rings, and there's a cake and a pint of ice cream waiting for you.
There'll be
with John Candy's wife from The Great Outdoors.
I'll tell you what'll happen. I know Moniz Loft real well. The gun will be loaded and I'll be shot. Not once, 6 times.
Well, Johnny, and I tell you, Zelina Vega's returned. She's had a little bit of sizzle behind her on SmackDown. It doesn't look like they're going to use her in a managerial role right now.
Nope.
And due to unfortunate circumstances, it's a great time to be a female heel on SmackDown, where Bayley suffered a pretty serious injury training to return in front of live fans.
6 months.
From
9
what I've
months
heard,
now?
9.
Wow.
Now, as someone that watches the show, I can't stand Bayley, so I'm not going to miss the character whatsoever. But as far as the human being that was injured, we can only send her our best and hope she has a complete, full recovery, as soon as possible.
I love you, Bayley.
What's your name, Jimmy Snuka?
I think it's great. I'm going to take you down. You're going to be great.
I hate Bayley.
I know you do. That's why
I hated remember those used car lot blow-up things that she
You only do
had?
what you're told.
But you know what? I think if it was for little children, a show for little kids, almost like what I've said about Otis in the past, I think it would be fun. For the demographic they're looking for, I think it's absurd. And then as a heel Bayley, I'm just not interested.
Pulls it off well. She does a good job.
Well, we disagree on that.
All right.
But at least she got tossed down the ramp by the even worse females in the company.
twins.
Your almost family members, the Bella twins.
I think I threw up again in my mouth.
Maybe Goldberg could spear them.
Oh, now we better cut because it's coming up.
Well, like I told you, I'm sure they have aunts and cousins that could try and latch on to someone that works in WWE, like the rest of the family.
The Bellas?
Yeah. They've all married well.
Stepfather.
There you go. All right. Well, wrestling fans, what did you think about all the crazy? Is there anything I forgot on my list?
I don't think
we
so.
We talked a little bit about it. Oh, you know what? Before we go real quick, we received, I don't know if you read it, a very nice tweet from Carmelo Hayes of NXT, the former, I should say, Christian Casanova, who is part of your Uprising faction.
He's a great guy.
He watched the episode we discussed him in, and you know what? He is part of the NXT Breakout Tournament.
Great.
8 stars, they think that it could perhaps be the future of the brand. We wish Carmelo, I guess now, the best. Again, what a life story he's had. I hope someday after WWE we can have him in the studio and we can shoot, we can tell his story, because his life has been remarkable and it hasn't always been easy for him to work so hard to get to the point he's at. I am so proud of him. Some of the things he did in the ring under the auspices of professional wrestling I thought were despicable, especially part of a faction that you were a part of with your buddy there, Cam Zagami. But as far as the human being goes, what he's went through in his life, now he has finally made it to the dance. He has some of the biggest influencers in the industry putting him over. I see great things for Carmelo Hayes in NXT, and who knows, maybe on one of the major league brands of Raw or SmackDown in the future.
He'll be there. I worked several shows with that young man, other promotions with that young man. We had a lot of discussions together. You will be on top.
You want to know my only disappointment? That he won't be with us Saturday night, November the 13th, at our 20th anniversary back to the 80s WrestleFest at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Fans, if you are a Patreon member or you had tried to be part of the event in 2020, that special link for tickets for all-inclusive VIP packages has been sent to you. If you haven't received it, email us so you can get first crack at those tickets, because everything is numbered, almost like with the airlines. The earlier you purchase, the better your spot is going to be as far as your seat, as far as being able to access the Fanfest. And then, Johnny, next Friday night, August the 6th, tickets are going to be open to everybody. Every fan that wants one of those all-inclusive VIP packages, the best value in professional wrestling, or a general admission ticket, BostonWrestling.com is the place to be. We're going to have special pricing for our great fans through SummerSlam weekend. So we're going to try and give you a little bit of a deal to make it more cost-friendly on the wallet through SummerSlam.
Let's do it.
And it's going to be a night you are never going to want to forget, fans, between being able to interact with these icons from the 80s, and then, after the autographs have been signed, the photos have been taken, the Q&A, the questions have been asked, that bell is going to ring, baby, and those hungry young athletes, the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, it's going to be such a combustible element, Johnny, I think it's going to blow the roof off of Memorial Hall.
She won't like that.
Oh, please. You talk about someone with a broom.
Ooh, happy Halloween.
I think she was the witch from The Wizard of Oz that was never shown on camera.
Maybe wicked.
She's wicked. And from Charlestown. So, as Commissioner Von Johnson used to call her, a street broad.
Oh, on TV. Oh.
Hey, he said it, not me. I'm just repeating
Why
the line.
repeat it?
Yeah. Street broad, baby. Street broad. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. Well, you know, maybe Commissioner Von Johnson will make a special appearance.
Maybe we bring him back.
Should we invite him for our 20th
why not?
anniversary?
He won't show up, but that's all right.
What about your good friend Hollywood Ron Robinson? Should we invite him?
He'll be there anyway.
We haven't seen him in.
Yeah, I hope he's all
right. It's got to be a decade.
I hope he's all right. I really do.
Hopefully that little paw opened up.
Oh, God bless him.
Well, Hollywood was a man that took many photos over the years. About 99% of them were completely and utterly worthless. But you know what? He tried. He had a good heart.
He's a good man. God bless him.
You love Hollywood Ron Robinson.
You know what? I don't have a bad word to say about many fans. There are some that I just plain don't like. But the majority of fans in this business are outstanding.
You love Hollywood.
Everybody.
Well, did you ever see the Hollywood Ron Robinson Christmas special?
No.
When he sang, oh my God, what was it? It was because he's Jewish. I am a little dreidel.
Oh, dreidel. I want to play.
He sang it, but he tried to put the microphone in the paw.
You should remember one thing. Never laugh at another person's handicap.
Look at me. You know what?
Karma is a bitch.
I have looked at it like this, and I know some people could look at what I just said as maybe a little on the inappropriate side. But if I can laugh at me and all of my handicaps and disabilities and so on, I look at everybody else as fair game. Maybe that's what people don't understand about my sense of humor. I don't know.
Sick sense of humor.
I sound like my mother.
WWE is going to shut you off.
You sound like my mother.
WWE is going to shut you off pretty soon.
WWE, we love WWE. Anytime they have live events coming, they know we'll promote it to the death. But we got to promote, like I said, Jake the Snake Roberts, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Axe and Smash Demolition, many more to be announced on a night you are not going to want to forget, fans. Again, get those tickets now. On top of that, we talked about the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive that night. There is going to be one mega jackpot for the fans to walk away with, as we try to, as we like to say, in kayfabe version, update Santa Claus's GPS so he can find every kid's house. It means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to you. It meant a lot to Paul Bearer before he passed away. And it's a great tradition we continue. It's going to be the 10th. On our 20th anniversary as an organization, we're going to have the 10th Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. How much more work can I add to my plate for this event? It's a good thing we have such a great team. What would we do without them?
You're absolutely correct.
All right, for John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marty. We will see you next Friday night after SmackDown. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours be well, stay healthy. Good night from Boston. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.